of excellence that have long distinguished these two. They represented their respective teams and this institution with class and dignity, and they continue to do so to today. They're a big part of our history and the lore of our beloved university, and they continue, again, to make us all proud as colonels. Before we start the program today, we have a few groups and individuals that I would like to recognize. First, our administration, who has supported our program wonderfully throughout the years. If you could, please hold your applause until we've introduced everybody. Joining us today is the Vice Chairman of the EKU Board of Regents, Alan Long. Our Faculty Athletics Representative, Sheila Presley, here at our table as well, and EKU President, Michael Benson, and in his fourth year as Athletics Director, Stephen Lockmuller. Several members of our Athletics Hall of Fame have also returned today to honor this year's inductee class. And at this time, I would like to ask all current Hall of Famers to please stand so that we may once again recognize you for your contribution to EKU athletics and the university. Please stand. Before we meet our inductees, a couple of introductory remarks. For the first, from our athletics director, now in his fourth year at EKU, Stephen Lockmuller.
We'll have to do an adjustment between Greg and I. Thank you, Greg. I just wanted to say a few words. First of all, welcome. It's a great day to be a colonel. Congratulations to each of our inductees. What a day this should be for you all, well deserved. I'd like to, first of all, go over some things that I think will make you proud because you're part of the people that have built the athletic department around here at this great institution. And so, but before I do that, none of this would be a possibility without great leadership. And so on behalf of the athletic program, the inductees, the families, and everybody, just wanted to give a clap, give a clap to our president, Michael T. Benson, who is one of our #1 supporters in athletics. So thank you, sir. So I hope while you're here that each of you might have the opportunity over the next several hours to tour the campus, both from the standpoint of campus beautiful, but also from the standpoint of what we have tried to do with the help and leadership from our president to be able to make improvements in the athletics. And we're very proud of where we are and what we've been able to accomplish. And so if you have time and you're on campus, please let us know if we can help you. But go around and take a look at some of the facilities. They've been improved since you were here, George. We're committed to the best student-athlete experience that we can provide, and we have high expectations going forward and always have at Eastern Kentucky University for our competitiveness inside of the OVC as well as beyond. This past year, we won our 5th straight OVC Commissioner's Cup, and we've won 6 out of the last 7. We also won 6 OVC championships and had 3 seconds. And at the end of the year, we finished 130th out of 347 Division I schools in the Learfield Cup. We hired 3 new coaches, A.W. Hamilton for basketball, Mandy Moore for women's golf, and Corey Erdmann to replace the legendary Rick Erdmann in our track and field and cross-country programs. Also, Mike Whitson, one of our own coaches, moved over to take over our men's program. We signed a 10-year agreement with Adidas to be able to provide financial support for our student athletes. It's the first time in EKU history that we've been able to do something like that, which actually brings in over the life of our contract over $2.5 million plus to the university to support our athletic programs. We signed a new 10-year deal with Learfield to provide much needed guaranteed revenue over $200,000 annually to athletics for corporate sponsorships. New agreement with IMG Learfield Ticketing to help us enhance our operations, our game day operations, and drive revenue. We just finished up with a new Title IX I know that most of you all know what that is. That will help us achieve better equality within our women's programs here at Eastern Kentucky University. Some of the things that go unnoticed when you talk about athletics that I want to share with you before sitting down is that it's not just about what we do on the field. It's about what we do in the classroom, and it's about what we do in the community. Last year, we had over 2,500 hours of community service by our student athletes. You all have been there before. You understand what I'm saying. We've had 13 consecutive semesters of 3.0 or above with our student athletes. We have currently over a 9.78 APR, which is the academic progress rate that we get monitored on by the NCAA out of a possible 1,000 within our student athlete population. And our student athlete graduation rate is 86% compared with our regular students, that's closer to 50%. That's why we're so proud of you all. That's why we're so proud of our athletic department within the university. And that's why we're here to honor you all. It's because student athletes come here not only to compete, but they also come here to get mentored for the game of life. And you all have been very successful in that, and we're very proud of you. I want to remind everybody that the kickoff for today's football game is 4 o'clock. Hope you can attend. We're very excited about where our football program is going. And again, I want to finish with, to all the inductees, congratulations. Glad you're home. This is your home. We're glad to have you back. Congratulations. And last but not least, go Colonels.
Now, if you've attended Eastern sporting events in the last 5 years, there's a good chance that you've seen him, perhaps accompanied by his family, oftentimes cheering on the Colonels. Or if you're one of the 12,000 plus followers of him on Twitter, you've no doubt seen him proudly tweeting about the achievements of our sports teams. There's no escaping the fact that EKU President Michael Benson is an avid sports fan, an academic administrator who is appreciative of the important role that intercollegiate athletics plays here on EKU's campus. And quite simply, he's our #1 Colonel fan and cheerleader. He projects that same enthusiasm, however, and excitement if he's attending a campus arts event or a lecture, or if he's addressing the faculty and the staff about the latest construction projects and sharing his vision for the university. And it's easy, as Steve said, to look around and see all the skyline changes here on campus, all the improvements to our athletic facilities among them, and the nice aesthetic touches on our campus as well. But it's what's happening just below that surface that really matters the most, and that is the way that all these changes are enhancing the Eastern experience for the students and the student athletes included. And the word is out that EKU is that unbeatable educational bargain here in the state of Kentucky. And students and supporters alike have responded to these positive changes. Our 4-year graduation rate has more than doubled in the last 8 years. Eastern is attracting more of the best and the brightest students from Kentucky and beyond. And private giving is at record levels as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, EKU President Michael Benson.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much, Greg, for that introduction. Greg mentioned we are Kentucky's university. If you've been to the airport lately, hopefully you've come down that escalator and seen our very prominent billboards there. The reason we say that is last year, our freshman class, the entering freshman class, 93% of our students were from the state of Kentucky. This year it's 91%. So there may be a big blue university up the road that calls itself the University of Kentucky, but we really are Kentucky's university in that we educate more students from the state of Kentucky than anybody else. And we're very, very proud of that. And the flip side of that is if you look at our graduates after they leave the university and graduate, 75% of them stay here and are employed and pay payroll taxes and go to school and raise families and do all those things right here in Kentucky. So I appreciate Greg mentioning that. Those are important statistics. Steve mentioned that we've won our 5th straight Commissioner's Cup. And back in May, we were down in Nashville for the ceremony, and a gentleman who does it every year Carl, what's the guy's name that is the MC? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Come on, Carl. Kyle Schmidt.
No. It's a guy that used to do radio in Nashville. Anyway, he's really funny anyway. Take my word for it. But after they went through this whole list of honorees, and he had been the MC for the program, he said, you know, I would have been an All-American if it hadn't been for poor coaching. And I thought that was a great line. But I want to start by having all of our former and current coaches please stand up. Former and current coaches, please stand up. To you inductees, I want you to think about the lessons that you learned from these men and women. Coaches are teachers. It just so happens that their classroom is the film room, it's the field, it's the court, it's the diamond, it's the soccer pitch. They are teachers, and I know, have inculcated in you lessons that you put to use in your own life. And I would say to our coaches, both past and present, thank you for what you've done. Because you've helped these honorees today get to where they are. And I'm so proud of our coaches, our former coaches and our current coaches, and what they continue to do and the impact they have on our student athletes. As Steve said, they're students first and athletes second. And we ask a lot of them. They have a lot to do. They have a lot that they're responsible for. And it would not be possible without the coaches helping them throughout their experience here at EKU. So to Richie, to Yeremiah, George, Rick, Nichole, Sheyenne, Bob, Randy, congratulations. You are entering the EKU Hall of Fame. And a synonym for fame is reputation. So reputations are built by deeds, by actions, by what you accomplished. So in the aggregate, what you did during your time at EKU earned you a spot in a hall of what I would call a hall of reputation. And your reputation is what follows you around for the rest of your life. And you've brought renown back to the university, and I want to personally thank you as the president of EKU for how well you have represented this institution, because it means a great deal to us. And I go all over the country, and when we travel, people say, what do you do, where do you work? And when I say East Kentucky, invariably they mention Roy Kidd. Everybody knows Roy Kidd. But I could go through the list of coaches from Rick Erdmann and his track record to the present day, and the student athletes that have done so much to help buoy up and burnish the reputation of the university. As Steve said, I hope you'll have a chance to go around campus and see some of the improvements that we've been able to do. We've been able to do it in a pretty tough environment. If you look at the capital improvements over the last 40 to 48 months, it's almost $300 million worth. And only about 65 million of that came from the state. Everything else we had to kind of beg, borrow, and steal to try and figure out how to pay for some of these improvements. And I've had former student athletes come to me and said, man, I wish I'd had this weight room when I was here. I wish I'd had that Earl Combs Stadium when I played baseball. I wish I had that new floor in Alumni Coliseum. I want to tell you this. We have these new facilities because of you. Because you helped put into place a foundation upon which we've been able to build. And so to the current student athletes, I hope that as you go about, they'll come up to you today and thank you for what you did. Because none of this is possible without you. And to the former coaches, I'm sorry we didn't have a chance to kind of refurbish things earlier or get some of those facilities in place during your tenure. But we're trying our best to do it now. And it's going to last long beyond our tenures here, and it's for future generations. And so to the honorees today, this is your day. Congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. And welcome to the Hall of Fame, and go Cardinals. Thank you so much.
Our first inductee was a member of Hall of Fame trainer Bobby Bartman's EKU training crew from 1979 to 1981. He was a part of the athletics training staff that served the 1979 and the 1980 football seasons. which produced, of course, the national championship in 1979 and national runner-up team in 1980. Following his time in EKU, he earned a position as an athletic trainer for the Baltimore Orioles minor league affiliate in Bluefield, West Virginia. And on his first day on the job, he met Cal Ripken Jr., forming a bond that would last all the way to 2015, when Ripken retired and eclipsed Lou Gehrig's Major League consecutive games played record. Besides being Ripken's trainer, he has a lofty resume of awards, being a trainer in 2 Major League Baseball All-Star Games, 1993-2004. He is a 2-time recipient of the Major League Baseball Training Staff of the Year Award. In 1999, he received EKU's prestigious Distinguished Alumnus Award. He has served 3 terms as president of the Baseball Athletic Trainers Society and has been a member of the Major League Baseball Medical Advisory Committee. He has also traveled the world as both a practicing athletic trainer and lecturer, including in Japan, where he spoke to the Japanese Pro Baseball Athletic Trainers Society. He served the Baltimore Orioles organization for 40 years, 34 years with the Major League team before retiring in 2017, and he was inducted into the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. Joined today by his mentor, Dr. Bobby Bartman, and his family and friends. Let's welcome back to campus, Richie Bancells.
Thank you. Good morning. This is without question a bit overwhelming, I must tell you. It's great to be back on campus. It's great to see all of you and coaches and friends and people that I was honored to serve to take their ankles or whatever I could do to help them. President Benson, Director of Athletics Lockmuir, the Hall of Fame Committee, coaches, faculty, staff, and friends. Good morning, and it is an honor to be here. This is truly an honor that I could not have imagined was even possible. I'm extremely touched by this recognition, and when I received the phone call from Carl Park, I think he can tell you I was speechless. In fact, I wasn't even sure if it was Carl. I thought somebody was like playing a joke on me or something. I would like to say congratulations to the Hall of Fame class of 2018. It is without question a privilege to be included with you. I'm humbled to receive this honor, and while I get to take this home with me and have my wife knock the dust off of it possibly every day, I see this entrance in the Athletics Hall of Fame as a testament to what this university and the people who make it up can accomplish through one person, myself, and that is how I intend to receive this award. I've said many, many times, from the moment I first walked on this campus, this was the place that made me feel like I can. In other words, before that I wasn't quite sure, but when I came to this university, the teachers, the people here, the staff, the instructors, they all made me feel like I could do something with my life, that I could work with hard work, face the challenges, and to make my dreams come true. I was fortunate to be here at a time when winning was happening with consistency. A football national championship, basketball going to the NCAA regionals, and many of the men's and women's sports always in the mix, winning OVC championships, which led to competition nationally. In my 40-year career in Major League Baseball with the Baltimore Orioles, before I worked with managers like Earl Weaver, Johnny Oates, Davey Johnson, and Buck Showalter, I was able to watch coaches like Roy Kidd and Rick Erdmann and others demonstrate what true leadership and winning really look like. Before working with elite athletes at the Major League level, I learned in the classroom here how the human body works from outstanding teachers like Dr. Hal Holmes and many others. Before walking into a Major League athletic training room, I was more than prepared to start my career by Dr. Bobby Bartman, who was not only my mentor while I was here on campus, but he was my mentor throughout my career and even in my retirement days. He's teaching me how to retire the right way, I guess. But to me, that is the EKU way. It just doesn't end when you're on this campus. It continues throughout your life. This university, there's something about it that it just stays in your heart, stays in you for your entire life. and for that I am forever grateful. Finally, I would like to thank my wife Carol and my children Chris, Andrea, and Tim for putting up with me in my career. Wherever I was around the globe and my profession took us, Carol made a home for us, always without complaint. And that too started right here, believe it or not, in Merit Housing. She made our first home right here. And for that I'm appreciated. You can see how really my life started the day I was on this campus. I want to say thanks again for this incredible honor. You can't even begin to imagine what this means to me, what it means to be here today, what it means to see some of the players and coaches and friends. I will forever, ever cherish this moment and this honor. God bless all of you. God bless Eastern Kentucky University, and go Big E.
Our next inductee played safety for Coach Roy Kidd for 3 seasons, highlighted by his junior season when he was named the OVC Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-American. He contributed to the Colonel's success from the outset of his collegiate career as he started as a freshman in 1999, recording 46 tackles, 16 assists, 4 caused fumbles, and 1 interception. His sophomore season saw first-team All-OVC honors, as he collected 63 tackles, 47 assists, and 2 interceptions. It included that monster game he had, 15 solo tackles, 5 assists against Tennessee Tech. His award-winning junior season included a contest against eventual league champion Eastern Illinois, where he had 11 solo tackles, 2 assists. He recovered a fumble, 2 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and a quarterback sack. For the year, he had 61 solo tackles and 25 more assists and 6 interceptions. He was a finalist that year for the Buck Buchanan Award in the 2001 season. That signifies the best defensive player in 1AA football. And then he was not able to play his senior year after suffering an injury in the summer. But despite that, he was drafted in the 6th round of the 2003 NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins. That began an illustrious 11-year career in the league. It included and was really highlighted in 2009 when he signed a 4-year deal with the Dolphins, and it responded with a 114 tackle, 3 interception season that culminated with an appearance in the Pro Bowl. He was also named in Eastern's All-Century team back in 2009. He finished his pro career by playing 1 season with the New York Jets and 1 season with the Arizona Cardinals. Joined today by his family and friends, let's welcome number 8, Yeremiah Bell.
Thank you. First off, I would like to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the gift of life, for my family, and for the many blessings that He has bestowed upon me. I would like to thank Eastern Kentucky University for the opportunity it provided me. Thank you to all the Colonel fans out there for your unwavering support and love that you continue to show EKU football. I want to thank all my coaches and teammates for making EKU football a matter of pride. Thank you to my family, who from day one has been as solid as a rock, whose love is unconditional, and the family bond we share can never be broken. I'm honored and blessed to be receiving such great recognition. I want to thank anyone who made this possible for me from the bottom of my heart. Throughout my football career, I have received many great awards, overcome many obstacles, and I accomplished great things. I would like everyone in this room to know that I did none of those things by myself. Me receiving this Hall of Fame induction is not about me. It's about the people who helped me to live a dream, the people who believed in me, and the people who gave me a chance. With that being said, I'd like to recognize some of those people who had a major impact and really responsible for me standing before you today. First off, my mother, Sheyenne Bell. I could stand here and take all the time talking about you, Mama, but just know I love you. And thank you for raising me and Meg. You made opportunities for us when there wasn't any. And without your love, support, and patience, I wouldn't be standing here today. My sister, Temecula Allen. Thank you for always being my role model, my right hand, and most of all, my sister. You are the sole reason I never wanted to get into any major trouble. You wasn't getting into any trouble, so I didn't want to get in trouble. You made good grades, so I wanted to make good grades. You played sports and shine, so I wanted to play sports and shine. I just wanted you to know that you laid out the blueprint for me, and I followed it, and now I'm a Hall of Famer. Coach Roy Kidd. Coach, what can I say? I owe you everything. You gave a skinny, fast, hardworking kid from Winchester, Kentucky a chance. You gave me an opportunity, a chance, and you believed in me. I wanted to quit, but you still believed in me. You gave me another opportunity. I was a walk-on going through two-a-day practices for the first time in years. The fourth and fifth day of two-a-days, I got full body cramps from the neck down and was in the hospital for 3 days. I was terrified and I didn't know what was going on. Maybe this football thing wasn't for me. I got out of the hospital and told Coach Kidd that I no longer wanted to play football. He asked if I was sure, and I said, yeah, Coach, I'm sure. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll give you a week to think about it, and if you want to come back, you can. I looked at him and I said, Coach, I ain't coming back. Crazy thing about that story is that I was a walk-on. I had no scholarship, no direct influence on the team, and they wouldn't have missed my presence. Coach had nothing to lose by letting me go. Because Coach Kidd left that door open for me, 3 days later, I came back. Without Coach Kidd leaving that door open, my career is not possible. I'm not standing before you today receiving this great honor without Coach Kidd believing in me and giving me an opportunity. Coach, I'm forever indebted to you for your guidance, leadership, and allowing me to be a part of Colonel football. You made it possible for me to live a dream, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Coach Jim Tenera, thank you for being you. Thanking you for moving me from corner to safety. At the time, I had no idea what was in store when I got back there. But as soon as I got back there, I knew that that was the place for me. You made days enjoyable and always gave us a good laugh. You was consistent, and that meant a lot. You allowed me to put my talents on display, and my job was to not disappoint. You always commanded excellence, and for the things you did for me, I didn't want to let you down. You was a master motivator and knew just what to do to press the right buttons to get any guy to go. Thank you, Coach Tenera. Much respect. Coach Walter Wells. When I started at EKU, I was known as the Red Raider. This was a scout team that was ran by Coach Wells. I want to thank Coach Wells for allowing me to be me. See, when I was a walk-on, I wasn't liked very much by my teammates at first. This was because I was going 100 miles an hour in practice, trying to impress the coaches and earn a scholarship. Coach Wells made it comfortable for me because if he wasn't going all out, he was going to get you. Anything other than 100% was unacceptable. I developed great practice habits and a desire to get things done from Coach Wells. His attitude was very contagious, and I'm glad it was him that showed me how to just let everything go and go out there and play football. Coach Will Muschamp, Coach Wesley McGriff, and Coach G. Punter. Most people say it's not good to have a new coach every year, but for me, this was a blessing. I was lucky to be coached by all three and gain knowledge and a different perspective on the game of football. Coach Muschamp believed in me. He saw something in me that I didn't even know existed. He gave me a belief in myself that I didn't know was there. Coach McGriff made me grow up and become a man. He taught me how to lead by example and not to make excuses. He taught me the value of footwork and how to be a more efficient football player. Coach G. Punter showed me how to really watch film and understand what you were seeing. He taught me how to feel the game and how offenses were trying to attack. These three coaches were a vital part in me becoming the player that I was. John DeWireman Babies, may she rest in peace. John was a head trainer my last couple of years at Eastern. I was not familiar with John until the summer before my senior year when I blew my knee out. John was in charge of my rehab and making sure my surgery went well. Little did I know, John turned out to be so much more. This was one of the hardest years of my life, and had it not been for John, I wouldn't have made it. I was depressed, unmotivated, and listening to the outside noise about the NFL. I thought my career was over and that no team wanted me. I wanted to stop, rehab, and just tuck it in. Jonda wouldn't let me. Continuously in my ear about you're going to get better and people want you and keep going. She believed in me and kept my spirits up. There were times I wanted to skip rehab and she wasn't having it. I wanted to do a lot more in rehab, but it wasn't time, so Jonda wouldn't let me do it. She took interest in me like a son, and I am grateful. I needed her support, motivation, and constant praise throughout my injury. She made me believe in myself again, and she made me realize that all was not lost. These are people that are very important to me and major factors in me receiving this honor. I honestly feel that God put these people in my life for a reason. He created this path and this opportunity with these great individuals. He blessed me and provided me with all the necessary tools I needed to succeed. I'm happy and honored to receive this induction. This is a direct reflection of the people who have helped and sacrificed for me during my journey. I accept this on all our behalves, and just know that none of this is possible without you. Thank you.
The next inductee played 4 seasons for Coach Guy Strong's EKU basketball team from 1968 to 1972. He began his collegiate career in fine fashion as he finished his freshman campaign, averaging 24.4 points a game. That was 19th best among all freshmen around the nation, as the Colonels averaged more than 90 points a contest on that freshman team. He averaged 11.1 points a game as a starter his sophomore season, followed that up with a tremendous junior season where he won first-team All-Ohio Valley Conference honors. He closed as the 21st leading scorer in the nation that season, averaging 24.7 points. He was the nation's 9th best free throw shooter with an 85.3% mark. He was runner-up for conference MVP honors, scoring 592 points that season. As a senior, he scored 21.1 points per game and led Eastern to an OVC championship as the Colonels compiled a 15-11 record, losing 83-81 in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Florida State, who that year finished runner-up to UCLA for the national championship. A member of EKU's All-Century team, He is still listed in the EKU record books to this day as the 15th all-time leading scorer at 1,345 points. So remember, you couldn't play on the varsity as a freshman back then. He was also the 5th best career scoring average leader at EKU at 19.5 points a game. He was the 7th best career free throw percentage right now at 82%. And he also still holds EKU school records for the most field goals in a single game, 18 against Virginia Tech, and the most field goals attempted in a single season with 504. And that was back in his junior season. He's joined today by his family, friends, and teammates. Let's welcome number 44, George Bryant.
Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon. I'm excited, I'm honored, and I'm humbled to be here today for this award. I've got 3 coaches that I want to talk a little bit about. 3 men that not only changed the way that I approached sports, but changed the way that I approached my business career, changed the way I approached adversity, and changed the way I approach life in general. My high school coach, Coach Oscar Fitzgerald, coached me in baseball, track, and basketball. In high school, he can't be with us today, he's in a better place, but representing him is his son, Chris Fitzgerald, who most of you remember also played here at EKU, one of the great three-point shooters to come through the doors here. I've told Chris if he could have played for Coach Strong and had Billy Burton as his running mate, things would have been different. But Coach Strong, or Coach Fitzgerald, if he was here today, he would swell with pride. He would be happy that Chris and I were here together. And he would be happy for me, but he would remember some difficult times that we had to go through in the early days. He would say something to me like, you can't predict your future, you can't forecast your future, just go to work, pray like it's all up to God, work like it's all up to you, and create yourself a future. So I'm so thankful that he coached me in those early days and prepared me for what was next. So I want to thank Coach Fitzgerald today for what he did in those early days and for me being here today. And one of those choices that I had to make was where I would attend and play my college basketball. So I was fortunate to be recruited by large schools, the ACC, the SEC, including University of Kentucky. Western, as many in this room remember, was number 2 in the country at that time behind UCLA. And I came to Eastern for 2 reasons, and both of them are in this room today. Coach Jack Hissel was the assistant coach and the freshman coach. Like Greg said, we could not play varsity ball as freshmen. And Coach Hissel played an integral part in the recruitment process. Some of you know my background. And Coach Hissel spent a lot of time with me. I was telling Greg earlier, not to be too humorous, but he never mentioned anything about basketball or college the whole time he came to see me. But he told me that he had some buddies that had a really good place to deer hunt. He had a friend that had a fishing boat, and he knew some real good ponds to frog gig. And when I told that story on him, he said, "It worked, I got you." And then Coach Strong. Coach Strong had come off of a national championship at Kentucky Wesleyan. A guy brought me to see Eastern play one night. It was hard-nosed. It was physical. It was athletic. And I loved the style of basketball. Coach Strong talked to me seriously about what he thought I could do if I had it in me, and I wanted it bad enough. So I went to my high school coach and I said, Coach Fitzgerald, I think I've made a decision. I want to attend Eastern. And I said, what do you think? He said, I think it's a good choice. He had played at Middle Tennessee State University. He said, I think it's a good choice, but he said, I want to warn you about something. He said, that Jack Hissom. He said, I coached against Coach Hissom for years in high school. He said, George, he's a win at all costs kind of guy. He said, he will push you like I don't know that you can be pushed. He said, I don't care to tell you, he's a damn bulldog. He said, now, do you think you're ready for that kind of coach? I said, yes, sir. Little did I know, I would meet the bulldog of all bulldogs. And in those days, a young ex-Marine. He broke me down. He changed me. By the way, Coach Hissom, raise your hand or stand up, please. The reason I did that, that's the first time I've ever told him anything to do and got a response. Coach Hissom challenged me. Not only did he challenge me, but twice I know for a fact he tried to run me off. And there were a number of times that he frightened me. Each time I went to work a little bit harder for fear that I would disappoint him. Is that not what great coaches do? He had an expectation in you, not only as a basketball player and an athlete, but he had an expectation of you as a man. And I was terrified that I might not live up to that expectation. Coach Hissom, thank you for me being here today, the role you played in recruiting, the role you played in keeping me at Eastern. Thank you for mistreating me. I love you. I love you. He told me later, he said, the reason that I had to be so tough on you is I wanted to prepare you for the next 3 years with Coach Strong. Now, he knew then, and he knows now, in those days, you didn't prepare for Guy Strong. It was brutal. It was tiring. He was relentless. He was never pleased with anything any player ever did. He pushed you to the limit that you wanted to quit so badly, but you were afraid that's what he wanted, and you didn't want to please him if he didn't want to be pleased. But the results of that type of treatment brings forth the respect that I have for Coach Strong. We beat people we shouldn't have beaten. We won championships we shouldn't have won. And I received honors I would not have received under a coach that didn't take that approach with me. Now, what he did for me in basketball is proof because I'm here today. But what he did for me in my business career and what he did for me in life, it's hard to explain. Just a quick story. I was a sophomore, and we practiced from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11, and we were working on press. At 11 o'clock, he came in the dressing room and said words that we probably wouldn't find in our devotional in the morning. He said, you guys don't get it, but you will. He said, you're coming back at 2 o'clock. We came back at 2 o'clock and we went till 5. And at 5 o'clock, he came in the locker room, he broke a clipboard, he kicked a garbage can across the dressing room, and he said, you guys will come back at 7 o'clock and you will stay until we perfect this press. So I'd had a bout with the flu. I hadn't eaten very well in 2 days. I had a place on my foot that was absolutely killing me. So before 7 o'clock, I went to Coach Hissom, and I told Coach Hissom what I was wrong with me. And he said, well, I need to go talk to Coach Strong. So he went to talk to Coach Strong. I found out later, all he did was go tell Coach Strong that I was gonna complain. And then he came back down and he said, go talk to Coach Strong. I went into Coach Strong and he shut the door. I never got to say anything. He just started yelling. And he yelled and he got louder and louder. And it was probably 45 seconds, but it seemed like 45 days that he yelled. Then he just got real calm. He opened the door and he looked at me and he said, hell, George, anything that comes easy, probably not worth having. Now get to practice. The reason I tell that story, I got into business after college. And I would be in situations where I felt like I was in over my head. I felt like that maybe the competition was better than me. Some of you have felt that way. Coaches for sure. And I would be in boardrooms or committee meetings or whatever. I didn't feel like I was polished enough maybe to be there. But I would just take a deep breath and what do you think I tell us? Tell George, if it comes easy, probably not worth having. Now my granddaughter Emma is here with us today. My grandson Parker is here with us from Houston, Texas, and they both are involved in sports. My wish is that one day they can encounter a coach that will have the impact and the lasting influence that Coach Strong has had on me. Thank you, Coach Strong, for what you did to me, but the utmost respect for what you did for me. Thank you. I want to thank all. I want to thank all the teammates at Eastern, especially the team of 1972, which many in this room remember, some in this room have said, and others have said, might have been the greatest team assembled at Eastern ever. A group of guys that were very special men to play with. Two of those I want to speak a little bit about signed with me in the summer of '68 and went through all 4 years with me at Eastern. Many of you remember Billy Bartman, the most tenacious, hard-nosed competitor that you would ever be on the floor with. And much of what I've accomplished today and all honors, I could not have achieved that without having a running mate like Billy Berkley. And Daryl Dunnigan, where's Daryl? Daryl is here with us today, and Daryl is here with us. I told Coach Issam that of all the teams I played on in college, Buffalo, Utah, and then overseas, I never had a teammate that I appreciated any more than Daryl Dunnigan. So Daryl, thank you for a major role that you played in me being here today. And then I want to thank EKU for providing an opportunity for a hard-headed, backward, problem kid to catch a ride, literally, to Richmond, Kentucky one day and have this happen. I'm extremely honored with this induction today. Thank you.
Our next inductee needs no introduction to Eastern fans who have followed his men's and women's cross-country and track and field teams through championship after championship after championship. He recently closed his coaching career after 39 years. He guided the Colonels to 73 Ohio Valley Conference titles, picked up 70 OVC Coach of the Year awards along the way. He tutored countless All-OVC athletes, 46 All-Americans, and 3 Olympians. Out of all of the conference championships, the one that eluded him until the very end was the OVC men's outdoor track title. And then on May 12, 2018, the Colonels sent him out on top. They stunned the conference by winning the outdoor championship by more than 30 points that season. And that storybook career closed with the storybook ending 2 days later when he announced his retirement. He's a native of Ligonier, Pennsylvania, and like most Pennsylvanians, life was all about football. And as a youngster, he did his part. In 1960, he was a speedy football tailback or halfback, and he earned a partial scholarship to play football at Ashland College in Ohio. In the offseason, he joined the Ashland track team as a sprinter, and upon graduation from Ashland, he served as a graduate assistant here at EKU in the PE department after visiting the school on a spring break trip to Florida. After earning his master's in education here at EKU, he coached football and basketball at Hampton Hall, a private institution just north of Yale University. And after a couple of more high school coaching jobs, he landed at Hagerstown Junior College in Maryland, where he became the school's first ever track and field and cross-country coach. He built Hagerstown into a junior college power. They won 13 consecutive Maryland junior college titles, a second place finish in the national meet, and the school's highest finish ever in any sport when they finished second in the national meet. Now that led to him being offered the job here at Eastern Kentucky. He took it, and the rest is history. 39 years filled with wonderful highlights, championships galore, and a legacy that will be hard to match from any sport at any university. At the June Board of Regents meeting, he was honored as being named head coach emeritus. Ladies and gentlemen, joined today by his family, many of his former athletes, university colleagues, and friends, let's welcome Rick Erdmann.
Thank you very much. I wanted to have a few things I've written down here, then I just wanted to go over, and Don Combs recruited me. I'm sure Bobby and Joe and Jim remember him, coach. So I'm not going to talk about that, though. But seriously, I appreciate the Hall of Fame committee and Carl Park, Trika, and everybody for this, choosing me for this special honor, and especially recognizing it for the job I've had for 39 years. I also want to express my gratitude to Dr. Benson, Mr. Lockmuller, for the support they've given me the last few years. I really appreciate that. Last but not least, I want to have a lot of gratitude for the support of my wife and son, who've been by my side and sacrificed a lot while I've been away so much, and let me follow the passion of my career. I also want to recognize a couple former coaches. We've had many young people in our program, graduate assistants that are coaches at different places now, but Tim Moore, who was a graduate assistant a few years ago and then was with me for many years, he and I took over the women's program in the 80s, and he was with me. He was very successful as a sprint coach. He coached Nichole and Jackie Humphrey. You may have heard of her. She made the Olympic team, was an outstanding athlete. I can't remember which one of us recruited her, because we were running around recruiting everywhere all the time. And I could tell you many experiences of driving back from Nashville one night. We had a bunch of vans only. The lights went out in one. We couldn't find anybody to fix it, so we just kept the van in between each other. We did some crazy things back then, to say the least. But anyhow, I won't bore you with that. Also, here's one of my former coaches that just became the head women's cross-country coach at the University of Virginia, Megan Lavoie, and in the most recent rankings that came out this week, her team is ranked 7th in the region out of 49 teams that are in the Southeast region. Now the team that's ranked 8th is that place up the highway here that somebody referred to as a Big Blue. They're ranked 8th, but the team that ranked 6th I don't want to mention because I never want to antagonize our opponents. But I won't say anything about that, but that's sort of a funny thing. But no, they came back and to go through this with me and this honor with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. And the other thing, it's been an honor to represent and to have the opportunity to work with the young adults and help them become successful academically, athletically, and become productive citizens in life long after EKU. I think that's probably the most important aspect. I have many wonderful memories of my career that keep me smiling and hopefully keep me smiling and laughing the rest of my life, and hopefully former athletes will do the same when they think of EKU and the experiences they've had here. From here on in, I just hope to, take part, be a supporter of EKU, look forward to being involved in Eastern for years to come, and I really appreciate this opportunity, and thank you very much.
Our next inductee is a bridge to what Rick was talking about, because she ran indoor and outdoor track for 4 seasons under Coach Erdmann, and her best season came during the 2005 outdoor season, when she was named the OVC Women's Outdoor Track and Field Athlete of the Year and Women's Outdoor Track and Athlete of the Championship. She was the 100-meter champ with a clocking of 11.79 seconds. She won the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 13.58, and the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 1 minute, 1 second, .05. She's still listed with the second best time in the EKU record book in the 100-meter dash and the 100-meter hurdles, 4th all time in the 400-meter hurdles. She was a 4-time OVC champion, having also been victorious in the 2003 outdoor 100 meters. She was a member of Eastern's record-breaking 4x200-meter relay team in 2003. And while a student here at Eastern, she was a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and helped tutor with the Office of Student Disabilities. Since becoming a police officer with the Lexington Police Department, she has received her 3rd post-secondary degree and was chosen as the Lexington Police Officer of the Year in 2016. She was named the 2017 Kentucky Women's Law Enforcement Network Police Officer of the Year and given the 2017 Time Out for the People Award presented by Lexington Mayor Jim Gray. In addition to her duties with the Lexington Police Department, she has served for the past 5 years as a mentor in the Fayette County Public School System. Joined today by our coach, Rick Erdmann, and members of her family and friends, let's welcome Nichole Gibson.
Hello. Don't worry, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God, because through Him all things are possible. My friends and family that are joining me here today. Without their support, I would not have ended up where I am. My sister's in the front, she's gonna make me laugh, so bear with me. Hard work and determination have always been instilled in me ever since I was little. If I didn't give 100% as my minimum, it just didn't feel right. A lot of people call me an overachiever. I was like, no, I'm just giving my minimum. That's 100. That's usually people's max, but it's my minimum. The years I was here at EKU, I was here from 2000 to 2008. No, it did not take me that long to get a degree. I like school, but I got 2 degrees. I got my bachelor's and my master's while I was here. Those have been some of the best years of my life. I still talk about my teammates, the practices we had. It was fun times. I have met several people along the way, met new friends. I consider them all family. When I first arrived at EKU in 2000, I was just a little scrawny kid from Louisville. I had attitude. Coach Moore can attest to that. I didn't like change. I was how I was, but he didn't give up on me and put me through some very rigorous practices, but I thank him today. I had a good base. I had some tough coaches in Louisville. They trained me like a boy, actually. I was doing boy times. They're like, oh, no, keep going, and I realized how strong I really, really was. So for you, I thank you for that, because I'm a cop now, and I may be little, but they don't mess with me no more. They're like, don't run from that one and don't give her a hard time, because she's not afraid to go hands on. So, but, and because I was a sprinter first, then a hurdler, I didn't even think Coach Erdmann liked me. I was like, I don't think he likes me. And I think it was my senior year, my 5th year senior year, and there was an article in the paper, and they asked him about me, and he had made note that her work ethic impresses me. And I was like, oh man, he really likes me. All this time I didn't think he liked me, but just to hear him say that my work ethic impressed him, someone of that caliber, like, oh, okay, I've been doing good. So that meant a lot for me, the things they have taught me over the years, and I try to instill that with the young ladies that I mentor, so that they can see you can come from very humble beginnings and still be something. Like, look at me, I came from humble beginnings, got my school paid for, worked my butt off, but I always had people in support right there in my ear. Don't do that. Nope, you need to go this road, don't go that one. But I do like to take the road less traveled. So I just want to say thank everybody for supporting me, and thank you.
Our next inductee played 4 seasons at third base for Coach Jane Worthington's softball team, where she had a fantastic career. Her annual batting averages were .371, .393, .349, and .412. She was first team All-OVC in 2008 and 2009, second team in 2007 and 2011. She also made the All-OVC newcomer team in 2007 and was an All-OVC tournament pick in 2008. She finished her career with a .382 batting average, 28 home runs, 156 RBIs, and a .602 slugging percentage. As a freshman, she led the team in 8 offensive categories, and as a sophomore, finished second in the OVC at RBIs, third in batting. Her sophomore year saw her hit a home run in each of EKU's last 3 games, including 2 OVC tournament games. She had the 13th highest on-base percentage in the nation that season, and had 14 multi-hit games and 15 multi-RBI games, including 2 grand slams and an 11-game hitting streak. She led the team in batting average as a junior, 6th in the conference. She saved her best season then for her senior year, when she led the team in batting at .412, had 5 home runs, knocked in 36 runs, and had a .602 slugging percentage. When she finished her career, her name was firmly implanted in the Eastern Record Book, including high marks for most doubles in a game, with 3 in 2011, best on-base percentage for a season in 2008, and best on-base percentage for a career. Joined today by her family, friends, and teammates, ladies and gentlemen, number 32, Sheyenne Hussey.
Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to stand here as an inductee of the 2018 Hall of Fame softball. I am blessed and honored to be standing in front of you all. I want to thank my mom, my sister, my family who wasn't able to be here. I want to thank my coach, Coach Worthington. She took a chance with me from Hawaii. I went to Kentucky. I want to thank Kelly for always pushing me as well. I want to thank TJ, my boyfriend, always standing strong for me. My dad's not here, but I owe a lot to him too. He was very hard on me, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I just want to say thank you to you all. Thank you, family. Thank you, Coach. To Carl Parks and the Hall of Fame committee, thank you.
see which one was that.
Our next inductee played 4 seasons of linebacker for Coach Roy Kidd from 1976 to 1979. He was a 4-year letter winner, a first-team All-OVC, Kodak first-team All-American, and a second-team Associated Press All-American in 1979 as EKU won its first 1AA National Championship. He led the OVC in tackles that season, 67 solos and 77 assists, and he was named OVC Defensive Player of the Week in the opening game of the year when he totaled 10 solo tackles, 6 assists, and had a pass interception and a pass deflection. He also caused a fumble, which was recovered in the end zone to stop a Kent State drive. That helped the EKU secure its first win in its history over an FBS school, 17-14. Perhaps the best game as a Colonel came in his first start as a sophomore in 1977 when he collected 12 tackles, 13 assists, recovered a fumble, and graded 96% on his assignments in Eastern's impressive 24-7 victory over the Delaware Blue Hands. That produced his first weekly award, OVC Defensive Player of the Week. He was named a second-team All-Conference choice his junior season in 1978, coming back from a knee injury that cut his sophomore year short. Upon graduation, he had tryouts with the NFL's Green Bay Packers in 1981 and the Montreal Alouettes of the Canadian Football League in 1982. He was inducted into the Louisville St. Xavier High School Hall of Fame in 1999. Joined today by his family and friends, let's welcome number 50, Bob McIntyre.
Thanks, Greg. This is a great honor considering Eastern storied football history and all the outstanding players that played here. I want to give thanks to my family for their interest and support, especially Mom and Dad who made every effort to attend the games home and away. Thanks, Mom, for your guidance and spiritual help for my safety. My dad was the one who really introduced me to playing sports, whether watching the games on TV or playing catch out in the yard or just talking about sports. He had a real love and passion which carried over to me. So, Dad, I know you're very happy and proud of me today. I would like to thank my coaches, especially Coach Kidd, Coach Ison, and Coach Blankenship, and Coach Teneri here. Who coached us in a professional manner and always had us well prepared for each game. Thanks to the trainers and managers for all their hard work. A special thanks to my teammates for being good teammates, not only through friendship, but by being good team members. For it takes good teamwork to be a good team, which was demonstrated on the 1979 National Championship team. That team was not only talented, but it was unselfish and very much committed and dedicated to winning. It also showed resiliency in rebounding from a disappointing loss to Murray and winning the next 5 games, including Eastern's first national championship. That was a special season and team I'll never forget. Football is a great game that has taught me many valuable lessons that has helped me through life's experiences. I'm so thankful and proud that I had the opportunity to play at a great school like Eastern. Thank you very much, and go Colonels.
Excuse me, Greg, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
He hit people a hell of a lot harder than he talks now.
I knew you'd love him for being Cubby Raymond, Coach. You know, it was interesting when I was reading the bio. That was the Kent State game was the first game I called. So I remember that. I can still see the stadium, and it was to the end zone to the left of the press box, and that was a big win. It was kind of a precursor to what was going to happen over the next 4 years. Our final inductee played 4 seasons of baseball for Hall of Fame coach Jim Ward from 1986 to 1989 as a right-handed pitcher. He was known for his 2-seam moving fastball, change of speeds. He had a sweeping curveball. At any time during the count, he would use that sweeping curveball, and opposing batters beat the ball into the ground when he was on the mound because of the way he threw. In his freshman season, he was used as a long reliever, compiling a 4-3 record. He went 41 2/3 innings of work as a long reliever. Then his last 3 years, he became a starter. He finished his career at 27-11. He had a 9-2 slate his junior year, a 2.74 ERA, 7 complete games, a string of 56 innings with only 1 earned run. And then his senior year, he led the team with a 10-3 mark, 6 complete games, a 3.01 ERA. He went 95 1/3 innings, 6 complete games, and 15 starts, had 76 strikeouts. He was named OVC Player of the Year and an NCAA Division I All-South Regional. During his career, he was voted first team All-OVC in 1988 and 1989. He was a member of the 1986 and 1988 OVC Tournament Championship teams, which then advanced to the NCAA regional play in both Louisiana and Arizona. And during those 2 years, he won 10 consecutive games and had won 18 victories and 19 decisions. In 1989, he signed a professional contract with the Atlanta Braves, played 2 seasons in the minor leagues. And in 2009, he was selected as a member of Eastern's All-Century Baseball team. Being no stranger to campus, his vocation brings him to Richmond several times a year, as his company provides graphics and murals and signage for several EKU sports venues and locker rooms, including, by the way, his own Hall of Fame plaque. So joined today by, I hope you didn't charge for that one. Joined today by family and friends, let's welcome number 26, the right-hander, Randy Long.
Thank you, Carl Park and the EKU Hall of Fame Committee. Carl, I've been making these plaques since 2006. What took us so long to get me in? When Carl informed me I'd have 3 to 5 minutes to speak today, I thought to myself, I'm going to need about 3 days to thank everybody that's been a part of my EKU life. So here it goes. Bob White, my dad, thanks again for all the hours upon hours playing catch and attending all the games. BOBB Bob is what we call him. Always was there to keep the scorebook. My mother, Sharon, would be high on her pedestal today, bragging about me being inducted. She lost her battle with cancer in 1999 at the age of 57. She loved EKU too, and all the friendships that she made during the road trips and hours upon hours cheering in the stands. I bet she watched over 500 baseball games from the time I was in Little League to Salt Lake City, Utah. If there was a bleacher butt Hall of Fame, my sister Robin, she would be in it too, because she was probably at all those games as well. She also attended EKU. Julie, my wife, who also attended EKU, was here the same year as I was. We met in Louisville. And after we were married, we came across a photo in a photo album that I had taken of Mom and Dad in the stands. And she was sitting behind them with her girlfriends. She revealed later she wasn't there to watch me. Raleigh White, my son. Raleigh's a freshman here on campus this year. Raleigh, proud that you made your own decision to come here. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Carl, there might be a price increase next year now that Raleigh's here at EKU to help pay for the tuition. We have a 15-year-old daughter, Clara, and she couldn't make it today because her high school homecoming is tonight, and I spent $90 on a dress, so she's at the dance tonight. My teammates, I'd like to thank them. Steve Smith and Mark Seamer. Smitty and Boomer, they're back there. Lots of laughs and fun times. Smitty was my catcher. Smitty, thanks for the visits to the mound and pointing out the good-looking girls in the bleachers to try to distract me from those moments that were tense when bases were loaded, which didn't happen very often, I might add. Mark Seymour, my shortstop, and a smooth one, I might add. Anytime that the ball was going his way, I knew there was going to be an out. Mark, sorry I'd throw only 3 or 4 pitches between innings. Boomer would still be in the dugout since he'd make the last out. And I'd throw 3 pitches and tell Smitty to throw it down. Mark would run by the mound and grumble, "Geez, Whitey, give me some more time." Dan McBride. Dan and I met our freshman year. Public relations class or freshman orientation 30 years ago. You know, the memory is not as good as it once was, but Dan, you're the best. Appreciate our friendship over the years. Joe Belford and Mike Dunn, no affiliation to EKU, but they are here in my support. They have been my skiing, hockey, and golf buddies for the last 20 years. Yes, I said hockey. I started playing ice hockey at 32 years old. Thanks for being here, everyone. Coach Jim Ward, what a great coach and a better person. Besides my father, he had the most impact on me as a wet behind the ear 18-year-old. He ran a tight ship. We had to be clean shaven, which by the way, I shaved my beard yesterday in honor of him. We had to have our hair cut short, our spikes polished for games, sport jacket on the road trips. But the worst rule that he enforced was no dessert if we lost. Which I actually honored that. If we lost at home, I wouldn't have dessert. The first time I met Coach Ward, he asked me how my grades were, and I responded that my ERA was lower than my GPA, and my ERA was pretty low in high school. He said, "That's not good, but we'll get you an EKU and we'll get you some study help." Greg, you forgot to mention that I led the team my freshman year in required study table hours. Boy, I have such great memories about EKU. Here are just a few baseball ones that stand out. Number 1, 1986 OVC Championship at Middle Tennessee, a walk-off home run from Mike Morrissey. What a fun bus ride home. Last inning, Mike hit the home run and we partied all the way home. Being on the mound for the OVC Championship in 1989 and getting trampled at the bottom of the dog pile. Shea caught the last out in the left field, and there they came. Number 3, after that win, we were sent to the West 1 Regional at Arizona for a chance to go to the College World Series. We were paired up against Arizona Wildcats on a Friday night in front of 8,000 Arizona fans and Smitty's parents. That Arizona team had 6 or 7 players that went on to the big leagues. One of them was Trevor Hoffman, and he was a shortstop. The scouting report on him was, Smitty,
Don't let his dorky body fool you.
don't let his dorky body fool you. So he comes up to the plate, and Smitty calls for an 0-2 curveball. Remember, Greg, I could throw that any time at the count? Well, I buckled Hoffman's knees, caught him looking for strike 3. I guess I fooled him with my dorky body. In all seriousness, EKU means the world to me. It's been my home away from home. What a great place to be immortalized forever. I'm honored to have made my mark by being a part of EKU athletics history. Go Colonels!
Congratulations to the newest inductees in the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame. Don't forget the football game begins at, to be exact, 4:05 p.m. against the number 8 Jacksonville State team. Should be a good football game. Hope to see you out there. If all the inductees could join Carl Park up front, we're going to get a group picture. And I always conclude with Go Big Eagle. Thank you.